Hello, Columbia Driving School students. We welcome you on the parking lot to show you how to perform pre-trip inspection. Our inspection, we're gonna start from the front of your truck. The first step will be check for the fluid leaks on the ground under the engine compartment. What kind of fluid leaks can you find on the ground? The first, engine oil. The second, coolant. The third, power steering fluid. And fourth, windshield fluid. After that we can move to check front bumper, which is of course present in the good condition, no cracks, properly mounted, no missing bolts and nuts. Next, the license plate. Plate is present, properly and securely mounted, and valid. The sticker is valid to the last day of June year 2008. Grill. Grill is in a good condition, no damage, and properly mounted. Next, we are going to check our lights. The headlights. We have two kinds of headlights, low beam and high beam. The light in color is clear, the glass is clean, no cracks. The reflector, which is inside the light, is in the good condition. Turn signal, amber in color, also properly mounted, no cracks and clean. We have three functions of a turn signal. Turn signal, four-way flasher, and position light. Windshield, properly mounted, no cracks and clean. On the driver's side, you may find safety inspection sticker, Department of Transportation safety inspection sticker, which is valid to the last day of February year 2008. Wipers in the good condition, no missing parts, rubber is not worn. Top of the cap. In the middle of the top of the cap, we have three amber color identification lights. Identification lights will inform our drivers on the road that vehicle which they emit is at least 8 feet wide. In the corners of the top of the cap, we have two clearance lights. Also from here, we can see top of the trailer. In the corners, we have clearance amber in color lights. They're in the good condition, properly mounted, and clean. The next, we are going to take a look inside engine compartment. To do that, we have to open the hood. Under the hood, you have to perform typical visual inspection. What do we have to check? Condition of the electrical wires, air lines, hoses. Have to check for the leaks from the engine, for the cracks. Plus, right here you have to check level of your fluids, like right here, windshield fluid, coolant fluid, power steering fluid, reservoir and the level of the fluid. Here is a stick and a marker, so we can see that level is between at and full, so we can say the power steering fluid level is proper. Now let's check engine oil fluid. Right here we have a stick to do that. Let's clean it up. Put it back. Remember that you have to do that with the engine turned off. So right here we have the level of the oil at full. It means that we don't have to refill oil in your engine. Next, we are going to check steering system. Okay, we have to start from the cab. The first part of the steering system gonna be steering wheel, then column, the next element of the steering system gonna be steering wheel shaft, which is right here, connected to the steering gearbox. U-joint connection is in the good condition and greased. The steering wheel shaft is not bended. Then power steering fluid reservoir with the hoses which are in the good condition. We cannot see here any leaks. Then next element, pitman arm, which is properly mounted to the steering gearbox. Pitman arm is connected to the drag link. As you can see, connector is in the good condition, greased. Crown nut is present, and also cutter pin is present. Drag link is connected to the steering ring knuckle, the big element right here. And again, connector is in the good condition, greased, no missing parts. Crown nut and cutter pin are present. The next element is gonna be steering arm, which is also in the good condition, properly and greasily connected to the tie rod. As you can see, the crown nut and cutter pin are present. One of the elements of the steering system is invisible. It is mounted on the end of the steering ring knuckle spindle. Next, we are going to check front suspension of your tractor. You can count parts. First, tractor frame. Second, hanger. Third, shackle. Connections are greased. There is no missing parts, no missing bolts. Then, in the eye of the top leaf springs, inside this eye, we have metal rubber bushing. C-clamp. Leaf springs, which are in the good condition, no missing and no cracks. U-bolts. Then saddle and axle. Also, we can say something about condition of the right front hanger, which is also in the good condition, is not bended, is greased, no missing bolts and nuts. The last element of the front suspension gonna be hydraulic shock absorber, which is in good condition, no oil leaks, properly mounted to the tractor frame and to the axle. As the next step of our inspection gonna be visual inspection of the brake system. Let's start from the airline. Airline is in a good condition, no cracks, no cuts, properly mounted. Right now, when the truck is parked, we cannot say about the air leaks. Okay, so but if we will choke the wheels and we will release the brakes, if you will hear the sound of the escaping air, it means that probably we will have a problem with the brake chamber or the airline. The next, brake chamber. In a good condition, properly mounted, no dents. Next, push rod, properly mounted to self-adjustable slack adjuster. Then S-cam shaft, and right now we cannot see S-cam, which forced brake shoes. Then the brake shoes with the linings. Remember the thickness of the brake shoe linings cannot be less than 1/4 of an inch. And brake drum, which is in a good condition, no cracks. Remember to say that there is no oil, there is no grease inside the brake drum and on the brake shoes. Front tire. The first and major information, the front tire has to be original. What does it mean? It means that we cannot use recaped tires on the front axle. No recaps, no retreat tires. The depth of tread has to be at least 4/32 of an inch. On the side of the tire, no cuts, no bubbles, no gaps between tire and the rim. The front tire is properly inflated, 100 psi, air valve in the good condition, and cap is present and tight. To check oil pressure in your tire, you have to use tire gauge. Rim. So your rim is in a good condition. No cracks, no dents, no signs of welding. Welding is illegal for the rims. Bolts, all of them are present and tight. There is no signs of rust coming from under the nuts. If you have signs of the rust leaking from under the nuts, it means that your nut is probably loose. Hub. On the side of the hub, you got glass. And through that glass, you can see the shadow of oil level inside the hub. In the center of the glass, we have a rubber cap. Through this, we can refill oil inside the hub. With the hub, we lubricate bearings of your axle. The side of your cap. Let's start from the mirrors. So the mirror is properly mounted to the tractor door. The flat mirror is in the good condition, clean, no cracks, the convex mirror in a good condition, properly mounted and clean. The door I can open and close. The side glass is in a good condition, no cracks. On the top of the cap, air horn properly mounted and in the good condition. Then we can check fuel tank. Remember, fuel means diesel for this kind of trucks. The tank is properly mounted to the tractor frame. The straps are in the good condition and the rubber under the straps is also in the good condition. That's really important because this rubber prevents cuts of your tank. On the straps we have mounted steps. The steps are in the good condition, properly mounted. They are not bended. They look good. Fuel lines, they are in the good condition, properly mounted to the fuel tank. Your fuel tank doesn't touch any electrical wires. The cap is present and tight. Be sure to check the ground under your tank. Why? To check for the fuel leaks. Tractor frame. 2 long rails and several cross members. Tractor frame cannot be welded. You have to check for the dents, for the cracks, for illegal drill holes, for missing nuts and bolts. As a part of tractor frame, we can't catwalk. The catwalk is in a good condition, now banded, properly and securely mounted to the frame. Actually, right here, under this catwalk, we have battery compartment. Your batteries are maintenance free, but from time to time it's good to check the batteries for damage and connectors for the clean connections. Drive axle. The rear axle of your tractor we call drive axle, and 2 tires, twin tires. What kind of tires you can use here? As you remember, the front you had to use original, no recaps. Right here we can use recaps. We're gonna use radial tires. What do we have to check? First, check for the depth of tread. Cannot be less than 2/32 of an inch. So the tread is not worn. It's not coming apart, which you have to check also. Okay, the tread is not coming apart. No cuts, no bubbles, no gaps between the rim and the tire. There is enough space between tires, between twins. Has to be at least 3 inches. There is no stones, there is no grass between the tires. Tires properly inflated, 100 psi. Air valves in a good condition and caps are present and tight. Rims. The same situation as we had on the front. No cracks, they are not banded, no dents, there are no signs of welding, no missing bolts and nuts. There is no signs of the rust leaks, which sign that a nut is probably loose. And there is no different shape of the hub. There is no oil leaks from the hub. It means that seal is in a good condition. Fender properly mounted in the good condition, and mat flap or splash guard properly hangs in the good condition, not touching to the tires and not drag the ground. Bracket in the good condition, properly mounted to the tractor frame. After each day of work, you have to remember to drain your air tanks, to remove moisture and oil from the air tanks. Next, we have to check our air lines and electrical cord. We have two air lines, the red emergency and blue service air line, plus green electrical line. What do you have to check? What are you looking for? So be sure that lines are properly hanged. They are not cross each other, and they are not mixed. Okay, so what does it mean they are not mixed? The red emergency line is properly mounted to the trailer emergency line, and the blue service line is properly mounted to the service trailer service line. So be sure that they are properly hanged, and the space between the lines or electrical cord and the catwalk has to be somewhere between 6 and 12 inches. Now let's talk about the glad hands, the end of the each line, red and blue. Let's disconnect our emergency line. Okay, so during inspection you have to check your glad hands. So take a look inside the glad hand. There shouldn't be water, moisture, and oil, especially oil, because oil in the glad hands inform you that there's something wrong with your compressor. The rubber seal, be sure that it's in the good condition, no cuts, and is soft. Okay. How to connect glad hand to the trailer connector? Make a 90 degree, put the ring to the ring, and turn. The same way you are going to check your service air line. Rubber seal, soft, in the good condition, no cuts, no water, no oil inside the glad hands. Few words about condition of your airlines. How to check? Be sure to turn them around. Check for cuts, damage, splash. The same with the blue. Now let's talk about the electrical cord, which is properly connected to the trailer. As you can see, the plug is in the socket. Okay, what do you have to do? Check the plug. Take a look inside. Check for the connector conditions. No grease. Actually, it can be special electrical grease. No rust, no water inside. Plug is in and secure in the bracket. No cuts, no damage, properly hangs. Now we are going to check fifth wheel. So, lower fifth wheel, upper fifth wheel. This plate on the bottom of your trailer we call also upper fifth wheel. You have to check that there is no space between upper and lower fifth wheel. The fifth wheel is greased, properly mounted to the fifth wheel's frame. As you can see, the lock pin is secure with the cotter pin. A release arm is in the proper position. The fifth wheel frame is properly mounted to the tractor frame. No missing bolts and nuts. Fifth wheel is locked. Fifth wheel jaws lock the fifth wheel around the kingpin's shank. Your tractor rear axle, drive axle, is equipped with the air ride suspension, elements of the air ride suspension. Again, we can count frame, big hanger, leaf springs with metal rubber bushing. The next part is gonna be pair of U-bolts with the bolts, saddle, then air part, rubber pillow with the bracket, plus kind of the stabilizer bar. The last element of the rear suspension, which you will have to check, is gonna be hydraulic shock absorber, properly mounted to the frame and axle, and you have to check for oil leaks. On the back of your trailer, remember to check to make a visual inspection of the same elements which you had to check on the front.